Godzilla's secret weapons. Opponent is to try to inflict intense fear. So how does MechaGodzilla achieve this? Jared Krzyzewski, the man behind MechaGodzilla's design, revealed that the reason why Apex decided to create a mechanized titan shaped like the G-Man instead of a giant tank or carrier ship was simply because a giant robotic titan would be far more intimidating for Godzilla. To put this into human perspective, imagine being met by a Terminator-like robot instead of a drone. Except this robot is out to hunt you down and kill you. Yeah, pretty horrifying. In addition to that, its red coloration completely contrasts Godzilla's blue hue. A red coloration is a hue that can instill fear and intimidation. In this case, a psychological toll for Godzilla. In GVK, we see Godzilla look almost furious upon encountering a Titan with similar body features. But then later, this look changed to a fearful one as the mech approached to finish off Godzilla. So now that we understand why this weapon was shaped like the G-Man, let's move on to the first weapon on this list. 2 buzzsaws. MechaGodzilla was equipped with a weapon that could literally hold and rip through flesh. By zooming in even closer to MechaGodzilla's hands, we find these rotating buzzsaws that could technically be used to inflict painful surface wounds to anyone caught by the mech's grippers. These aren't your traditional thin blade buzzsaws that you would use to cut wood with. These are much thicker and similar to some industrial grinders. Any skin or hair caught in these rotating blades would only proceed to get ripped right off. Krzyzewski also mentioned that while the mech held the Skullcrawler wide open, there was a possibility that his legs were also getting bit into with those saw blades. If held long enough, it is possible that these grippers could have crushed this animal's leg bone to the point of snapping off. In GVK, we see these in action as they begin rotating while holding the G-Man's mouth open. But these aren't the only meat-crushing weapons found on this Titan. 3. Jaw grinders. In GVK, we were unfortunate to not be able to see the mech using his jaws. Unlike Mecha-G, Godzilla made use of his sharp teeth for dealing painful bites to other titans. This combination of gripping with his arms and biting allowed Godzilla to perform maneuvers such as decapitating Ghidorah during combat. Would MechaGodzilla do the same thing? Truth is, he technically could, but it would be far more painful. It just seems like this mechanical titan was built to not only kill, but also to inflict the biggest amount of pain possible. Enter the jaw grinders. By zooming into this titan's mouth, we see that there is a lack of sharp teeth, but what lies in there is far worse. What you see here are layers upon layers of metallic rotary discs that act as meat grinders, similar to what is found on its hands. This weapon, however, has a lot more surface area than its hands. Imagine a random titan's arm stuck in between the mech's jaws. The grinding motion would literally peel off the skin and then proceed to ripping flesh from bone. But why stop there? If you've seen any of these mesmerizing industrial grinder videos on YouTube, you'll recall that these things don't discriminate. Wood, metal, meat, bones, anything goes. Eventually, this titan's bones would also get crushed. Grinders like these usually have an entry point and an exit. You don't think this meat gets swallowed by the mech, do you? No. What once was this joint will now be dropped in front of the victim's eyes from the lower part of the jaw, onto the floor. Sludge. This horrifying sight will not only be excruciatingly painful, but will also inflict an unrecoverable amount of mental trauma to the terrorized victim. Not everything on the mech had an offensive purpose. The next component of this mech might leave you a little surprised. Number 4. Godzilla's plates were used for many reasons, but one of the primary uses of these dorsals was for communication, or the famous intimidation display. MechaGodzilla also had dorsals on its back for 1, looking somewhat similar to Godzilla, and 2, for defense. This idea was brought up by Krzyzewski, who mentioned that the primary purpose was to defend any vital organs, or in this case, vital components of this Titan, and making it harder for a Titan to reach or dig. Early on in the development of MechaGodzilla, these spines were actually meant to be drones that would fly off and transform into airborne ranged weapons. This concept was ultimately left out, given that drones wouldn't have that solid integrity needed to serve its defensive purpose if they were struck by an opponent. The next weapon we are about to cover would have fixed this problem. 5. Drones. This set of weapons was not officially acknowledged by Legendary, so take this info with a grain of salt. In the mobile game PUBG, MonsterVerse fans were treated with a game mode titled Titan's Last Stand, where you boarded a battleship and joined both Godzilla and Kong in a fight against the mech. The interesting part here was the fact that you weren't only being attacked by MechaGodzilla, but by drones. And they just so happened to come from behind the mech itself. So what can we take out from this? Assuming that this was in fact a real attribute for MechaGodzilla and not just a game exclusive, we can assume that these drones could have been individually controlled by MechaGodzilla's AI with high technology. In other words, all drones trying to achieve one objective, working together to do the mech's bidding. In an alternate storyline, this mech could use these as a distraction to other Titans, or as a counter to fight off any minion creatures the opposing Titan might command. In PUBG, these drones were mounted with machine guns that fired on individual targets, such as you, while the mech focused on the larger craft. So instead of using its dorsals to transform into drones, this version of the mech now housed several individual drones to take out smaller targets. What do you think about these unknown weapons and abilities? Do you think that the addition of drones to the mech's arsenal would have been useful against Godzilla? Thanks again to World of Tanks for sponsoring this video, and remember to click on the link in the description to play. Now that you're still here, why not check out these videos? Hope you're into kaiju battles, we got tons. See you there or in our next video.
Okay, so that is it for this video. That was actually pretty good. That was pretty cool. Jaw grinders? Boy. And the buzzsaws, those will do some serious damage on Godzilla or Kong or any other Titans. It would be cool if we saw some drones in Godzilla in the MonsterVerse, but oh, it is what it is. Yeah. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, I will see you guys in the next video. Whatever that will be. Bye bye.